Okay, what's up, everybody? It's been a very long weekend in wrestling, but we finally reached the Monday night, folks, with the debut of Raw being on Netflix. Now, before I actually get into my Raw Netflix review, because I'm probably not going to review this show every week. Then again, I feel like I haven't really reviewed Raw in a while, unless something really important happens. But obviously, this show is super loaded tonight with the big debut being on Netflix. And before I actually begin this review, I do want to tell everybody to go check out my Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty review, which is uploaded online right now. Go check that out. But yes, Raw on Netflix, folks. Now, a lot of people wonder, was I really going to go buy Netflix for this show? No, I did not buy Netflix. I did watch Raw. I saw the whole show, and I'll just say this, I had a really good stream, and I didn't really have any type of buffering at all, so I'm good where I was at. So, LA, though, tonight, Monday Night Raw, let's get right into it. Obviously, there was a cold open. I actually saw the video earlier in the day. Them paying, because it's Los Angeles is in this new building called the what's it called, the Intuit Dome or something. Yeah, the Intuit Dome. So they were playing a lot of stuff from the dome's exterior and everything, and they show people arriving backstage. And then the lights went out. And they had to, like I said, the cold open. If you've seen that video, just basically kind of lot of WWE historical and some WCW stuff in there too, which Triple H ended up narrating and everything as they showing all the classic footage and all that. Basically, they bring the whole the projector screens down. Triple H is in the ring. He gets a big pop, and we're gonna be seen and heard. This is Netflix and everything. And he said, "Are you ready?" Of course. And he says, "Are you ready? And welcome to Monday Night Raw. Welcome to the Netflix era," which you're going to hear a lot of Netflix throughout the whole night. And we'll get into that soon. But immediately we started off hot with The Rock coming out there. He has the People's Championship with him. But yes, he makes his big entrance. And, he's hugging, I guess, one of the executives right there, which I'll get into those later too. But Michael Cole and Pat McAfee were on commentary for the show. The Rock handed the belt off, I guess, to one of his kids. I think his mom was in the crowd, obviously. Well, his mom's always in the crowd, but Rock got in the ring, and he said he used to travel, the roads with his dad. And, the only way to buy WWE was to buy a ticket and everything. You could still buy a ticket, but it's a different story now. They're on Netflix and everything. And here's the thing, and I know I talked about this in the end of the year review, my friend Kyle and everything. And I was talking to some people earlier tonight about this. They said this is the biggest gate in history, right? In Monday Night Raw history. 17,000 fans, which they've done more fans usually almost every other week on Monday Night Raw. They always draw more than 17,000 fans. But I guess when they said the highest gate, a lot of people wonder, you tell me the ticket prices were so jacked up high. That's why it's the highest gate. And yeah, we've heard about WWE ticket sales being real high because it's like, dude, this is Monday Night Raw, okay? It's not like this was selling out WrestleMania or something, okay? And we know WrestleMania tickets are now getting real high nowadays and damn, they're going to Super Bowl level of tickets. But the fact that he kind of came out there and said 17,000, folks, the biggest gate. I'm like, you've had more than 17,000 on Raw half the time for multiple years. That's almost like every week. So the fact that he said that, and listen, the stage itself, the stage is going to be a stage. I know it's small. I know it's to get more people in the building, so I'm not going to go and, go off of that. You already know how I feel about the stages with WWE right now with some of these shows, but the fact that he kind of said that, it's like, man, these ticket prices must be jacked up so high that, because I wonder how much floor seats cost, like $5,000 or something. Like, tickets have gotten high. That's why when they say these international shows and these crowds, it's like, yeah, you would have gotten that on a regular episode of Raw or SmackDown, which you already do. So the fact that it's just Raw now is just kind of funny of him saying that. Like, how much tickets did y'all really, money did y'all really pay for these tickets? But moving on from that, finally, Rock, and this is full face mode Rock out here. He does, it's finally back in Los Angeles, and he's talking about the Netflix executives up at the top in the luxury box. Once again, you're going to hear a lot about that. Cody Rhodes was in the crowd, too. Talked about he's done an amazing job as WWE champion and everything. And, one thing he wanted to sell, like, Mama Roots, hello and stuff. But he talked about the tribal combat match about to happen and his cousin Roman Reigns. And talk about Roman versus Solo, and that, this is Los Angeles, and the Netflix viewer, and he does If You Smell, and, what The Rock is cooking. and he does his closing line, and then he went and shook hands and hugged Cody Rhodes. Like, okay, so Rock was full face mode out here, okay? This wasn't even the final boss Rock. This is just regular Rock, and I'm sitting there wondering, like, why is he going out there shaking and hugging Cody Rhodes after everything that happened in WrestleMania? And I know that was months ago now, and even back the night after WrestleMania, whatever he told Cody in his ear and stuff. Listen, we haven't seen The Rock since Bad Blood, and he didn't even really do nothing from there. But it's just kind of weird now, just kind of seeing Rock go full face mode. It could be setting up something. Even Cody too. Why just going around and shaking up with Cody like everything's cool now. Like, do you not remember this man beat the hell out of you? Actually, here in Chicago, and went on to say Mama Rhodes, and beat the hell out of you. Had you bleeding, whipping you with a belt. WrestleMania. Like, do we not forget that? So I don't know. One thing I will say about this show tonight, you're going to get a lot of commercials. Lots and lots of commercials. So, don't get me started with that. But we actually get into the Tribal Combat match right now. Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman was obviously with Roman Reigns. Alicia Taylor was, the ring announcer. I guess Lillian got moved to SmackDown, I guess. So, it is what it is. They're both good announcers. But there was like a FU Solo chant then. And like I said, the show cut the commercial break before the match even began. So when the match even began, like I said, like we had a commercial before like literally before this match even started. But yeah, like I said, it's like a lot of commercials, and I liked the match. I think it was really good. It was a little slow at first. One thing they kept doing throughout the night, one thing I'll say about everybody that had a match throughout the night, they were using the announce table, and this announce table was not gonna break. But given how that announce table looked with all like the monitors and stuff and everything, and how high tech it was, you weren't gonna break that announce table. So, like I said, Solo in a Uranagi onto Roman on the announce table. And even just throwing like the ring steps in him in the head with it, hitting him with like a chair and stuff. So it was a lot going on in this match throughout the beginning of it. Apparently, I heard lots of people had audio problems during the Netflix thing. I didn't really have no problems watching it, so I've been hearing a few things about it throughout the night. But Reigns, ended up coming back. They got they want tables involved, I should say. I know Roman ended up getting a chair to swing at Solo. Solo got out the way. He low-blowed Roman. You're knocking him on the chair. Still for a near fall then, but, Roman came back with the big drive-back kick. Basically, throughout the match, Heyman's looking petrified half the time. Roman, he was able to powerbomb Solo through a table and cover him, but next thing you know, Tama Tonga. So listen, you already know how these Roman matches are going to go, okay? You're going to get like 10, 15 minutes of the match until everybody starts running out there with their mama then. So yeah, Tama Tonga was out there. He pulled the ref from under the ring and whatnot, and stuff, and got involved in the match. Then, Jacob Fatu comes out there, and he takes out Reigns, super kicking him, and put him with a DDT, and then do his moonsault then. Solo's getting ready for the Samoan spike after that, but Roman kicked out at, I guess he basically kicked out at 2, and then Solo ended up hitting the referee with the Samoan spike then. Next thing you know, Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn came out for the save then, and they're helping Roman. Then they hit like a big super kick on Solo and a haluva kick after that. Reigns spears him, but there's no referee out there. A referee finally came out, but it was still a 2 count. Fans chanted, "This is awesome." Basically, Jimmy and Sami ended up fighting the rest of the bloodline to the back then after that. Kevin Owens ended up coming out then, and he ended up taking down Roman Reigns with a stunner and started beating him up. Cody Rhodes' music hit then, and, they start brawling and going to the outside into the crowd after that. Reigns went for a Superman punch, but Solo blocked it and went for the Samoan spike, but Roman ended up spearing him for the first time. He played to the crowd, and he speared him one more time, and now he is still the tribal chief, and he got the Ula Fala back. So, listen, this is like every Roman match that you see before. You know how this is going to go. But the crowd ate this match up, obviously. This was literally the first whole hour of the show was just straight up bloodline stuff. If you count the Rock's promo and this match, this was literally the whole first hour of the show. Okay? Heyman got in the ring after that then, and he was going to give him the Ula Fala, but The Rock came out. no music, by the way, and he told Heyman he was gonna do it. And I know a lot of people thinking that The Rock was already gonna turn on Roman, and maybe just gonna set it up. Obviously, want to get the crowd of what it feels like, but he put the Ula Fala on him then after that, and fans chanting OTC, and then they did the big handshake and whatnot, and hugged and stuff. So, you know, Roman got the Ula Fala back, and now he is the tribal chief once again. As they all put the ones into the air after that, as The Rock and Heyman continued to watch them and put the ones up also. So no screw job, no Rock taking out Roman is screwing him over. Could that happen at some point? Possibly. But right now, we're testing the waters and whatnot. As for the match itself, like I said, it's like every other Roman match you could see before. But the crowd ate this up and definitely enjoyed it. So, hey, I know people want to see the final boss Rock out here, but you didn't get that tonight. You just got the Rock, just being the Rock himself. So, there you go. They talked about the Royal Rumble coming to Saudi Arabia. Oh, good Lord. I wonder how that's going to go. Saudi, folks. And listen, I'm used to these Saudi shows, but I didn't really think the Royal Rumble was going to be there, the actual Royal Rumble. So I know a lot of people are going to feel bad for the women because they're all going to be dressed like Power Rangers now. But I'm like, hey, that's that blood money for you, man. They getting hella money to be doing a Royal Rumble match all the way over there. So that's crazy that it's really going to be in Saudi. They showed a whole bunch of SmackDown and NXT people. And listen, throughout the night, this one thing you're going to see. You're going to see half the Raw, SmackDown, mostly Raw roster just going around waving in the crowd. And multiple celebrities because it's LA. Because you had Gabriel Iglesias, Ashton Kutcher, Michael Shea, Wale. And then you got Rey Mysterio and the War Raiders sitting there throughout most of the time. Like I said, you're going to, that's one thing I will say about this show tonight that you'll see the most. Commercials and multiple celebrities just sitting there waving, or half the roster just sitting in the crowd and waving. As my friend Shaggy would say, because a lot of these guys were in booked, so just go out there and wave, okay? John Cena came out. Obviously, he is now beginning his retirement tour angle that's going on right now. He said, let's go to work and everything, last round and stuff. John Cena obviously got a huge pop when he came out there. And he says, damn, people everywhere. LA shows up. Fans chanting, thank you, Cena. And he says he's learned a lot of things throughout the years. And he knows that the fans are smart. And he can feel that energy all around the world. Oh, make sure you thank Netflix too, Cena. So he had to make sure he did that. So more Netflix stuff. That's one thing about Fred Shaggy said. Like, first off, Netflix paid them all this money, right? Not them paying Netflix. So why so much corporate shilling out there? Hey man, they gotta do it. They're on Netflix, so we gotta promote them like 1,000 times out here throughout the whole night. But Cena said he was back, and he talked about how he started in LA, and that it's gonna be the last time now, and he wanted to start this tour in Los Angeles, and talked about how he trained and he slept in his car, and even where he lived in LA where the prototype was born. Hell, where he won his first WWE title at WrestleMania 21 also. And, talked about Inglewood and stuff. It's up to no good. But he says, that for 25 years, he thanked all the fans for even letting him perform here and whatnot. But he talked about the moments inside and outside the building. Everybody's going to wonder, who's he going to face, huh? And all the people on the internet, who's John Cena going to face? And he went off a list of, names right now and talked about becoming a 17-time world champion. Fans said, you deserve it. But Cena says, you know what? I can't do that. That's not going to happen. Because remember, it's because of the streak that's going on. It's been over 2,000 days since John Cena won a match. And yeah, that's true, because the last time John Cena was around, he talked about it. Been over 1,000 days at that point since he had won a match. He lost to Solo. He lost to Austin Theory. And yeah, the matches was kind of whatever and all that. But as in a one-on-one, I'm not talking about tag team matches. As a one-on-one match, when is the last, like I said, who was the last person Cena even really beat? Hell, I guess you got to put Bray Wyatt. He lost to him one-on-one. Because yeah, who is the last person John Cena even beat in a match? So it's been that long. So he says he's come to peace with it now. My time's up and their time is now. So I can't do it no more. All right, I just can't. And, it's going to be a great year and the 17 title, it's not going to happen. But never say never, but it would take a miracle for him to happen. There's only one shot he could do. He could win Money in the Bank. He could win the Elimination Chamber. He could win the Royal Rumble to even get a title shot again. But he says, what's crazy? What if I could win the Royal Rumble? It's a lottery ticket. If you don't play, you don't win then. If you don't play, you could try. But he said the best way to do it, He could say thank you to the fans, make history at WrestleMania. I can win the Royal Rumble again. And he says, to him, nothing is impossible. So he said he's never going to give up. And he says the fans shouldn't give up. He says he's not just going to be in the Royal Rumble. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. And he says, if you want some, come get some. And, and he left the ring after that. So, obviously, Cena was going to have the crowd eating out the palm of his hands out there. And, yeah, and, I look at this, and I've already been kind of pitching ideas here and there, but I can see this already happening right now. Obviously, John Cena's on the quest for that win. And now I guess he's on the quest for a world title shot at WrestleMania now. And he could say he could win the Royal Rumble, but I do feel like it's going to be a thing where he's going to do everything he can to win until he's all out of options and find somehow, some way to get a shot, to get a win, and maybe get a chance at the WWE title again. So if he may not win the Royal Rumble, he could try to win the Elimination Chamber. If he doesn't win the Elimination Chamber, hell, it could be Money in the Bank as his last shot. I don't know what he could do to win. And he's won all these things. I don't think John Cena needs to win the Royal Rumble again. He's already got 2 under his belt. But this is now his quest to win because he's only got 1 year. And he's on his, like I say, he's on his last run. I still would like it if he turned heel at the end of this whole thing and swerve everybody. But hey, we'll save that idea for another day when we talk about this again. Okay? But overall, obviously this was one hell of a promo by Cena. And like I said, like he could just go and just say, all right, it's time now. I don't need to try again. Let everybody else do it. But no, he needs to kind of do it. Like if I'm going to become the 17-time champion, I have to do what it takes and, basically enter himself in the Royal Rumble, which we already knew he was going to be in the Royal Rumble anyway. So he's going to do what he can. So yes, this retirement tour angle, I don't know where it's going to go next for John Cena, but hey, this is the kickoff, folks, and we'll see what happens next. So, especially with now a Royal Rumble season and WrestleMania season coming up, it's going to be a lot to see what happens. But hell of a promo by Cena to start off this tour. I know they had a Logan Paul video after that. Obviously, more celebrities. O'Shea Jackson Jr., Topanga, Seth Green, Macaulay Culkin, X-Pac, Bianca, Naomi. Like I said, just multiple people from the roster out there. But the actual next match we got to was Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the women's title. I thought it was a really good match. I'm just finally glad this feud is over. I hope it's really done after this. Obviously, once again, man, they were doing what they could to put anybody through a table, okay? Anybody go put through that table, they would not go through. Because what was at one point, like, I think Rhea did a damn power bomb on Liv Morgan on the table, which did not break out there. And, she's trying to do her best to get the riptide and everything. Obviously, Dom and Raquel get involved, and she ended up hitting Oblivion on a chair for a near fall. And then Liv did like the Three Amigos and stuff. But, she even did a frog splash after that. But Ripley was able to stop her Oblivion in after that and even slam her to the mat. And did like 2 more riptides, which I didn't think it needed that many riptides to beat Liv Morgan. But it is what it is. But Rhea won the title. I'm not surprised by that. Hopefully, we can move on to somebody else. But the question is now, again, you're kind of back where we're started now. Because, one, nobody really could even beat Ripley before. Because that's the only person they really know how to book on Raw in the women's division is Ripley. If, featuring Liv Morgan and all this. Because who else is really built up to even face Rhea for the title? But I guess this trade window thing is going to happen. So I guess we're going to put some people on SmackDown on Raw now to see what will go on from there. But really, when you think about it, who's really about to beat Ripley? Like, seriously. Like, come on now. Like, who is? So, and this is like been the only feud on Raw with the women. Everybody else is just kind of whatever right now, even paying attention to them. This is the only women's feud that matters on this show. And it's possibly not, well, it is over after this. And then Dominic got in the ring and tried to sneak up on Ripley and didn't even try to hug her. But Ripley ended up just kicking him in the nuts and hitting him with a riptide and knocking him out the ring. And then as she's celebrating, the Undertaker literally comes out there just to give his stamp of approval, I guess. Which is kind of weird in a way because he, Yo Shaggy was talking about, it's like, other than what Undertaker being spooky and all that, what's the correlation here, the connection? What? So Taker can just give his stamp of approval. And I read it came. Honestly, I wish he would have came out to the Rolling theme or You're Gonna Pay and the Kid Rock one. But it is what it is. But we got Biker Taker, we got the American Badass. But all Undertaker really did was just take a lap around the ring, and he did the whole put your fist up thing with Ripley, and that was it. So you get Undertaker for like what 40 seconds just to put his fist up and I guess put his stamp of approval and all of that. So there you go. But yeah, this feud is over now, and Ripley is the champion again. So there you go. Another thing I'll say about obviously with this show too was advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. I know a lot of people aren't gonna like. Listen, I like the black mat on the ring. I don't mind that. The advertisements like Fortnite and Hulk Hogan's beer and Saudi Arabia, it's whatever. I can see how it can come egregious to people because with TKO, they are definitely promoting as much advertisement as they can because that's where a lot of this money comes from, as them even talking about Netflix throughout the whole night. But advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. And here's the thing with all the advertisement in the ring, like I'm used to New Japan doing this. They do that too, and they've been doing that. So I think with WWE is like, I think a lot of people think this stuff looks ridiculous in some sort of way. They didn't really like when the Prime drink was in the middle of it, but TKO is just making sure they promote every sponsor. We've seen it on the LED boards, and don't even get me started on WrestleMania because every match is brought to you by some advertisement at this point. So, like I said, it's a lot of advertisements on there. Chad Gable and I guess the American Made people showed up wanting a title shot or something, but I guess he's going to have a match. And he said, you find him the best luchador to face next week. So, obviously, it's going to be Pentagon Jr. debuting next week at Monday Night Raw against Chad Gable. So, get ready for that, folks. Travis Scott was back smoking some weed, getting ready for his entrance with Jey Uso. And what else did they show? More Netflix executives, Michelle McCool, and who else was there? Vanessa Hudgens and EO and stuff. So, yeah, more of that throughout the show, which, like I said, Travis Scott, the guy that now made the new Raw theme and even, smoking a joint and whatnot, came out with Jey Uso's entrance that I swear went damn near 7-8 minutes, but Jey Uso obviously over with the crowd. Also, they did announce that The Rock will be on NXT tomorrow night, so that's going to probably bring a huge spike in the ratings. Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. I can't say I was really halfway paying attention to this match. I know the crowd was a little bit quiet for it. It wasn't bad or anything, but I don't know. I was just kind of like, how long is this show? I got to remember Raw's back to 3 hours again. Apparently, it was going to be 3.5 hours, but I guess if you stayed around for the post show and watched it, then there you go. And whatnot. So that, that's how you know it would be 3.5 if you really want to sit there and watch the rest of that. But like I said, the match was, I was okay with Drew and Jey Uso. I didn't really pay that much attention. I know Drew was just beating the hell out of Jey throughout half the match, and just hitting with the future shot and Claymore kick, and wanted to do one more. But Jey ended up ducking and ended up just pinning, rolling up Drew McIntyre for the win. So obviously that feud is going to continue. New Day throughout the night was still getting mad at the crowd, even getting tired of Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy there, and make sure you think about those Netflix, because he's got a Netflix. That's one thing my friend said. You got all these celebrities in this crowd, because they all probably got a Netflix special and everything, so they got to make sure that they're promoted, which he did too, and then Alpha Academy showed up, and then they walked away. Roman Reigns is backstage with Paul Heyman, talking about what's happening on January the 27th, which I believe he will be on the cover for WWE 2K25 because the logo was on the door, so that's your next cover star. Hulk Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart, which, listen, Hulk Hogan was booed out of the building here, which, let's be honest, come on, we knew this was, even when his music was playing, you knew he was going to get booed out the building, and Hogan just did out there and cut his promo and everything, being in the business 40 years and being part of WWE and just here to promote his beer and stuff. But come on, you knew what was going to happen when putting Hulk Hogan. And it was LA too. Let's remember, this was LA. And listen, I don't mean to get political and all that, but I guess with the election and everything that just happened, I believe it was LA, they voted for Kamala and not Trump. So I think you knew this was gonna happen. This was a blue state, not a red state, folks. And like so I don't even care if Hogan was even there. Then again, I didn't even really know he had a beer in general. Like I think somebody told me about it not that long ago, but I didn't really care about it because I'm not gonna drink it anyways. I'm like, Hulk Hogan's promoting a beer right now. I'm like, okay, and then like he was gonna be on Raw, and then they like advertise his beer in the ring and stuff. I think people gotta wonder, like, dude, WWE's been working with Hogan all this time, so I don't know where people thought that they were not gonna work with Hulk Hogan. They did it like a few years ago. They still do it. They did it like a year ago. So I don't know what people were really expecting when they said, why are they still doing business with Hulk Hogan? They've been doing business with Hulk Hogan. I just don't even care anymore. It's whatever at this point. So I'm not even surprised he got booed out the building here. And then he got like a Raw Netflix shirt on and stuff. But like I said, he was just there to promote his beer and all that. But come on. Anybody knew this was going to happen. And he was in LA. Really think about that. Did you not think he was going to get booed? Listen, if this was Florida or something, that'd be a different story. And then, like I said, given the election, and I'm sure what everybody saw through that, you knew what was going to happen, okay? I don't really care because it's whatever. But, like, come on. Like, is anybody really surprised by this? But I don't care. I get why they had Hogan on the show. Like, he's still a big name in wrestling. Say what you want. So I understand why they had him there. So whatever. Next was the main event for this show. CM Punk obviously wearing the same jacket he did before he actually left AEW, which I thought it was pretty funny. It's almost like an inside shot. I'm like, oh, that's the same shot, jacket he wore it all in before he got let go from over there. But CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, though, was in the main event. Hell of a match. Even a holy shit champ for the match even started. Man, like, I enjoyed this match. I really did. This was great. They really did go on each other, even going off the right the barricade with a dive. Which one thing is funny. Even my friend Gerard was saying this too. He was talking about you got all the Netflix executives literally standing right there. They probably don't know what the hell this is with wrestling, and they got the nice suits. They're all like the network executives or like top echelon people watching. Like this is a presentation for them. Like, oh, look at this, we signed on with this, so this must be great. So they don't know anything really about wrestling. They're just like the sponsors. Like it's Netflix. They're executives, all right. But they fought to the outside and to the crowd and everything. I gotta say, Punk was getting hit with a lot of finishes. This dude was getting GTS. He got hit with a pedigree at one point, even damn near onto the table and stuff. Like Punk was, I ain't gonna lie, he was low-key kind of taking a beating out here. But like I said, this is the first main event match on Raw Punk has had in over 11 years now too. So there you go. But like I said, I really enjoyed this match. Punk still trying to get the GTS finish on him, but I know Rollins ended up getting a curb stomp on him, which he's still arguing with the ref because they even headbutting each other at one point. Like these guys are doing what they can to kill each other out there. Punk obviously doing his big knee strikes and everything. He been playing to the crowd, signaling for the GTS. Punk had got Rollins up and everything, but Rollins was able to get out of it. Like I said, he ended up hitting the GTS on his own, which I had to say he hit Punk down there in the forehead, which had him roll out of the ring. Then I thought that was pretty brutal. Punk even hit him with his own curb stomp too. So these guys like just taking each other's finishers and whatnot. Punk went for the GTS again, but Rollins got out of it, got another GTS on him, then covered him. Still a big near fall and everything. Rollins went for the curb stomp again, but Punk got out of it. He tried to get him again, but Punk still got out of it. Even got him on the announce table and stuff. Which, like I said, he got him with a pedigree on the announce table too. That was pretty brutal. Like I said, Punk was taking a beating out here, but like I said, fans just chanting "This is awesome," and then a "Fight Forever" chant at one point. And even Rollins going for the Falcon Arrow towards the end, which he did hit and was going to go for another one, but Punk, reversed it, got a GTS on him. Rollins stumbled, landed on top of Punk on his shoulders, and then Punk hit him with another GTS and won the match, which there was some blood, I guess, coming from Rollins' face, like on the right side of it. But I thought it was a hot match, though. I definitely enjoyed it. I didn't watch any of the post show. I wasn't gonna watch it anyways. I just saw the little thing where I guess they talked to Punk after and say who he was doing this match for. I'm glad he shouted out Chris Bay and everything too. So that was good to hear that. Like especially what happened with Chris Bay recently. I'm glad to see he's getting a lot of support, but and stuff. But like I said, Punk basically said he's taking all the gold this year, and that was kind of the end of it. Till I just turned it off after that. So I wasn't gonna watch the post show. I don't watch any of these post shows and media scrums anymore because I just don't really care. So that's my whole take on it. But overall, like I said, I think a lot of this Raw was a lot of hype in it. I did enjoy the show. Obviously, the production was going to improve anyways with Netflix, so you can clearly see it even with the drone shots and stuff. And they made this premiere as big as they had as possible and loaded up a lot of people. Like I said, you had The Rock, you had John Cena, you had Roman Reigns, you had CM Punk, you had Rhea, you had Undertaker on here, you had Hogan. You had as many big names you could pull out of the hat to even put on Monday Night Raw, but for this show. But the only negative I really kind of would say is just multiple commercials. It was like a lot of commercials throughout these matches, and just just random celebrities we got to keep talking about, and network executives, and talking about Netflix 1,000 times, which I get they got to, but still, and just half the roster just kind of just in the crowd waving and all of that. So they just, it was a lot of more. I would say it was more promo heavy, but it was a lot of hype and a lot of advertisements. Lots and lots of advertisements. But I enjoyed the opening match. Yeah, it's like every Roman match, but obviously the crowd was into it. Like, I enjoyed the opening and the main event. That was probably like my favorite matches of the night if I want to go off of that. Uso and Drew McIntyre was kind of whatever for me. And Rhea winning, I'm not surprised. So at least she got the title back, and hopefully we can move on to something else after this now. But like I said, her having Taker come out too, but like I said, it's a little bit different given on Netflix, but there's still commercials at the same time, too. So there you go. But overall, like I said, it was a very big hype show, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, especially the opening and closing matches. So I think my stream, for what I watched, I didn't really have any issues. I got through Raw very smoothly. No buffers, no refreshes for me. So I thought it was good. Like, I really liked it. It was really good. So, Raw, great show in general. Definitely enjoyed it. But 3 hours, man, not used to being back to that again. Because even I said to myself, like, man, are we at the main event yet? Can we get to the main event? Because even after a while, like, you just see all these advertisements and just people going in the crowd and all this other stuff. It's like, all right, man, let's come on, let's get to the main event here. I've sat through this show long enough as I could, but just like Monday Night Raw, like usual, all because it's on Netflix, it's still Monday Night Raw, folks. But I will say this before I go: I do believe Raw will do a high number. Obviously, it's the first night. They're gonna get a big viewership number for Netflix. I still think that it's gonna be hot for the next few weeks, and then they'll probably go back to the status quo of numbers, depending on what that is. Or like I said, it's not a rating on TV anymore. But then again, I've said this about with Raw before when it was on USA. I don't think it's going to be like a Logan, like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight when it was like 60 million viewers. Like, Raw was already barely cracking 1.3s at the time. So I believe it was really high tonight, though. I do that. But we'll see what happens in the aftermath of it. But other than that, tell me, what did you think about Monday Night Raw, though? Are you ready for Netflix and everything? Did you enjoy this show? Because like I said, they loaded this show up as much as they could to make this great. And what do you think will happen in the following weeks? I don't know. But like I said, a lot of big names were definitely on this show tonight. But other than that, though, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. I hope you enjoyed Raw on Netflix tonight. So, yeah, long weekend in wrestling, man. Very long weekend. So, hey, we got more tomorrow, too, at NXT. But other than that, I'm out of here. See you guys then. Comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at HoodieKnight890. I'm out. Peace.